Welcome back to the channel. It's a rainy, miserable day today. I'm sure you can hear the rain in the background, sorry about that. But I want to do a short video on the BX2380, the PTO repair we did. I did a two-part video already. I'm sure some of you have seen that, showing how I did the repair, going through the disassembly, getting the hydraulic valve out. But I want to do just a short video here, just kind of talking about some of the details of that. And then there wasn't a lot of information that I could find on this, and it seems like this could happen fairly easily, just the way it's set up. So I just wanted to talk through a few details on it. Hopefully it helps somebody out. So I took a few notes just to kind of keep my thoughts in order here. But I think I mentioned in a previous video regarding the fuel filters, or the fuel filter system on the BX, that I wasn't real impressed. And the more research I've done with the hydraulic fluid and its flow path, filtration, all that, I'm a little disappointed with that also. So the BX has a hydraulic filter. It also has a strainer, metal screen setup, and the fluid's picked up out of the sump, goes through the metal screen, and then goes to the hydraulic valve for the PTO clutch. So that metal screen, while it's a pretty fine metal screen, is all that protects the very small flow holes in the hydraulic valve. So obviously in this case that was not sufficient, and there's been a few other cases I've seen online. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a very frequent thing, but having that fluid go through the actual filter first, I think would have been better. I'm not familiar with the internal workings of the transmission. Maybe that's not possible or very hard to do, but that's just something I was a little disappointed in. I feel like I've done a pretty good job of keeping good, clean fluid in and changing everything, fluids and everything ahead of time. So I did look back at my service records here. Kubota recommends a 50-hour service. And all that's required at the 50-hour service is the transmission filter itself. So at the 61-hour mark, I went ahead and I dropped all the fluid out, put a new filter on, and I cleaned the metal strainer, put new fluid in. So cleaning the strainer and the new fluid wasn't required, but I thought that was important just for any manufacturing dirt, debris, anything that was in there, and there was a little bit. So I was glad I did that. After the initial 50-hour service, there is a 200-hour interval for the transmission filter itself. So I went about 200, maybe 210 hours, and then I replaced the transmission filter. And then at the 400-hour mark, they recommend transmission filter again, new fluid, and cleaning the strainer. So I did go the 400 hours and performed a full service at about 480 or so hours. Again, when I pulled the strainer, the metal screen filter or strainer out, there was very minimal, if anything, on it. I did do a video on that. I'll try and find that video and put it up above here if anybody's interested. So I have not quite 200 hours on the fluid now. Based on the issues that I just had, with having some of that silicone gasket maker make it through the strainer, I'm worried that there's some of that gasket material on the strainer, and just the suction's possibly pulling it through. So here in the next month or so, as soon as I get some time, I'm gonna drop the fluid out, probably into a clean bucket, take a look at it, look at the strainer very well. If the fluid looks good, I'll probably reuse it, since I'm not even halfway to the service interval yet. But if there's any question, I'm gonna go ahead and put new fluid in. Hoping that this was a one-time fluke. The only thing I could think of that would possibly contribute to this was when the tractor was pretty new, I did have a leak from the rear like PTO case area. After running the tractor when it was hot, letting it sit overnight, I'd have 3-4 drops of hydraulic fluid on the ground. So I did take it back to the dealer, and they pulled that rear case off, put gray silicone gasket maker on, and resealed that leak. I'm not sure if that has contributed to this. I don't know if maybe they used too much gasket maker and there was some inside the case that's come off now. I don't know. That's just the only thing I could think of. Okay, the repair itself went a lot better than I thought. All the reading I did, Kubota recommends, or the way Kubota would do it would be to remove the entire transmission transaxle assembly. I didn't want to do that, but was willing to. The only other option I saw online was to make a small notch in the frame. I considered that, but I really just didn't like that idea. So one person, I believe it was on Orange Tractor Talks, recommended spacing out the frame rail. So that's what I tried. When I started, I was willing to go as far as removing the transmission, but the first thing I wanted to try was space out that frame rail, and that actually worked extremely well. You could get it out far enough to get plenty of clearance to pull that hydraulic valve out, and then it also, the frame rail itself wasn't bent, or when I went to put it back together, it matched right up, no problem. So that saved a lot of time. If you watch the video, I had to pull the valve out. I ended up doing it 3 times. And the last time, I could get the valve out and in pretty quickly. So if this problem would happen again, it really wouldn't be a big deal to repair it. But yeah, so that was definitely a lot better than pulling the whole transmission out. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Overall, I'm still very happy with the little BX. I understand anything mechanical can have problems. This was just something that came up. I was just unlucky or whatever, but still overall really like the little tractor. I've used the BX pretty hard doing different things. The majority of what it does is mowing grass. That's not, I'm obviously not too hard on it, but I've done a lot of other work with it. It's performed well. This is the only problem I've had. So it was super frustrating at the time because I was in a hurry trying to get some grass cut and use it, but overall it's been a very good machine. I put about 125 hours a year on it. This year's gonna be a little more. I think I'm at about 120 right now. Use is gonna slow down because of winter, but so it gets used fairly frequently. If anybody has any questions or anything specific to the PTO repair or to what I did on this tractor, drop a comment below, or send me an email. Like I said, when I was researching this problem, trying to figure out what was causing me issues, there wasn't a lot of information out there. There was a couple threads on either Orange Tractor Talk or Tractor by Net, I believe, that discussed this, and a couple guys took it. They were under warranty, took it to the dealership, had it fixed, and then like I said, a couple guys I saw notched their frame and did it themselves, but there wasn't a lot of information out there. So if anybody's running into an issue with your PTO not working and you got any questions, feel free to shoot me an email or whatever, and I'll share any knowledge that I have with you from the repair I just did. But hope somebody finds this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like, subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next video.